Hey, I'm in Hawaii. I'm sick. Feel terrible. Uh, but being sick doesn't decrease the number of movies that need to be watched. Rather, facilitates the viewing of more of them. Um, no, we've got 7 movies to talk about. Like I said, I don't feel so great, so we're gonna try and make this kind of snappy. But let's do it. The Descendants is a movie that I watched completely by coincidence on my way here. And it kind of helped put me in the right mood, but just a happy accident. Good movie, worth a watch. I'd say a exceptional screenplay that was maybe 70% realized. Considering the all-star team behind Steve Jobs, including director Danny Boyle, writer Aaron Sorkin, Michael Fassbender, the movie's about as mediocre as it could be, which still makes a decent watch, but the dialogue is kind of up its own ass, and the assertion that all of these events took place immediately before the launching of new Apple products is a stretch to say the least. Fassbender's performance is good, the camera work is good. My issue here is just, if there was a story to tell, this probably wasn't the best way to portray it. Also, the musical score was kind of off and on for me, and it didn't help that they had this reoccurring bit that sounds exactly like another bit from Man of Steel, from the Man of Steel anthem. Feeling a 6 out of 10 on this one. Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. This movie's amazing. I was consistently impressed, laughing, and the movie took me on a great ride. I should let you guys know that I watched this on a pretty beat-up DVD and didn't realize until about halfway through the movie that some of the skips weren't part of the experience, but I don't feel bad about it, and I'm going to buy the movie on Blue soon enough anyway. Contrary to popular opinion, this is far from Tarantino's worst, and in my opinion, the guy hasn't made anything less than a 7 yet. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Gotta admire this movie's scope. The makeup work is fantastic, and it may be Fincher's greatest work visually, but Pitt's performance is kind of off and on, and the movie's a little over long, and in my opinion lacks a real so what to it. It's not quite as interesting or engaging a story as one could hope, but if you think that a Tim Burton-esque Fincher film would appeal to you, then by all means check this one out. Zootopia. Good for a kid's movie, not necessarily a good movie in its own right. The blatant themes this movie presents are a nice touch, but I feel like they play second to an otherwise pretty safe movie. Any risks that are taken are small, creative touches, and as an adult viewer, the plot is predictable as hell. Plus, these movies have a tendency to pander to younger audiences, which makes them less enjoyable as an adult viewer. But, of course, the animation is superb, and if I had kids and I had taken them to see this movie, I altogether would have been satisfied with that endeavor. So, mission accomplished in that regard. Drawing a line with Frank Capra's It Happened One Night, because this is a generic romantic comedy. I'll give it that without this movie, there's no way we'd have films like Leap Year, or The Proposal, or What Happens in Vegas. These are classics. But even though the movie is somewhat charming, I just as well watched the 700th incarnation of It Happened One Night. Last movie, Saturday Night Fever. Essentially, this movie is 8 Mile, but instead of rap, it's about disco. The movie's pretty good. Those are this week's movies. More stuff on the way. For now, this is